The stakes around AI-driven pricing are higher than anyone is telling you. Here is why. On March 14th, 2024, I handed my entire pricing model to an AI. No guardrails, no manual override, full control. It analyzed 18 months of my client data, my conversion rates, my churn history, and my competitor benchmarks. And then it raised every single one of my prices by 34%. I panicked. I almost shut it down. Within 6 weeks, I lost 4 clients, real revenue, gone. And then something happened that I did not expect. By week 10, my monthly recurring revenue had jumped by $11,200. Same workload, fewer clients, more money. So here is the real question the pricing gurus never ask you. What if your prices are not too high? What if they have always been too low? Stay with me, because what I am about to show you changes how you think about money forever. Here is the situation most freelancers, agency owners, and SaaS founders find themselves in right now. You have been running your business for 1, 2, maybe 5 years. You set your prices based on gut feeling, competitor research, or what you thought the market would bear. And those prices have not moved much since. Maybe you bumped them 10% when inflation hit. Maybe you added a small package tier. But fundamentally, your pricing strategy looks almost identical to what it looked like on day one. Meanwhile, AI tools are now capable of doing something that would have cost enterprise companies $50,000 in consulting fees 3 years ago. They can model your exact pricing elasticity, simulate client behavior across price points, and tell you with uncomfortable precision exactly where you are leaving money on the table. You are now standing at a fork. Path A is what most business owners do. Path B is what almost nobody does, but probably should. Path A is the comfort zone. You keep your pricing where it is. You compete on value the old-fashioned way, more deliverables, faster turnaround, better communication. You justify your rates by working harder, not charging smarter. And when a client pushes back on price, you fold. You offer a discount. You add a bonus. You tell yourself that keeping the client is worth more than holding the line. This is the path 94% of independent business owners are on right now, according to a 2023 FreshBooks report on freelancer pricing behavior. Here is what that path looks like in practice. You spend more time justifying your prices than Path A leads to what I call the busy broke ceiling, and I hit it hard in January 2024. I was billing 47 hours a week, fully booked, 3-week waitlist, and I cleared $6,800 that month. That is $145 an hour on paper. But once you factor in admin, revisions, client calls, and the proposal I spent 6 hours writing for a client who ghosted me, my real rate was closer to $68 an hour. I was not running a business. I was running a hamster wheel with a nice logo. The research backs this up. A 2022 McKinsey study found that companies that price reactively, meaning they adjust prices based on pressure rather than data, leave an average of 25% of potential revenue on the table annually. 25%. That is not a rounding error. That is a business decision. And the brutal truth is this: if you never challenge your pricing with real data, you will never know what you are actually worth. But here is where Path B changes everything. Path B is what I started calling AI-informed pricing, and it is not about blindly letting a robot set your rates. It is about using AI to do the analytical work that your gut cannot do alone. Here is exactly what I did. I pulled 18 months of invoice data, client retention records, project scope histories, and email response times into a structured data set. I ran it through Claude, Anthropic's AI model, using a custom prompt framework that asked it to identify pricing elasticity patterns, flag underpriced service tiers, and recommend price point adjustments based on client lifetime value. The output was uncomfortable. It told me my core consulting package was priced 31% below what the data suggested my highest retention clients would absorb without churning. It identified that my lowest priced clients, the ones I thought I was doing a favor for, had a churn rate 3 times higher than my premium clients. Cheaper clients left faster. Premium clients stayed longer and referred more. That single insight rewired how I thought about pricing forever. So what actually happened when I implemented the AI's recommendations? Week 1. I sent updated pricing to my full client roster. 4 clients pushed back immediately. 2 asked for a discount. I held the line because the AI's scenario modeling had predicted exactly this response and told me that caving would cost me more long-term than the short-term revenue loss. 2 of those 4 clients left. The other 2 stayed and quietly upgraded to my new top-tier package. Week 6. 2 new clients came in at the new rate with 0 objection. They found me through referrals from my premium clients. Week 10. My MRR hit $18,000. That is up from $6,800 in January. Same number of working hours, 35% fewer clients. And here is the part that still blows my mind. My average client communication time dropped by 40% because my new pricing naturally filtered out the clients who needed the most hand-holding. AI-informed pricing did not just change my revenue, it changed the entire quality of my working life. So how do you decide which path is right for you? Ask yourself 3 questions. 1. Do you actually know your real effective hourly rate right now? Not your stated rate, but the rate you would calculate if you divided last month's revenue by every hour you spent working, including admin, proposals, and revisions. 2. Do you have data on which of your clients has the highest lifetime value and the lowest churn rate? And does your pricing reflect that? 3. When was the last time you raised your prices and did not immediately offer a discount when someone pushed back? If you cannot answer question 1 with a specific number, if you said no to question 2, or if question 3 made you slightly uncomfortable, you are on path A, and you now know exactly where path A leads. The good news is that switching paths does not require a complete business overhaul. It starts with one data-driven decision. Here is your first step. And this is where the specific tools I used become relevant. Start with a pricing audit using AI. The 2 tools that made this experiment work for me were Paddle's Revenue Analytics dashboard for tracking real MRR and client-level lifetime value, and ChatGPT-4 with a structured data prompt for scenario modeling. But if you want a more automated end-to-end solution, Baremetrics integrates directly with Stripe and gives you AI-powered revenue forecasting, churn prediction, and pricing benchmark data against anonymized industry peers, all in one dashboard. I used their Recover feature to automate client communication during the transition period, which saved me roughly 8 hours of awkward pricing change emails. Link is in the description. The process is simple. Export your last 12 months of billing data, feed it into your AI tool of choice with a prompt asking for pricing elasticity analysis by client segment, and let the data tell you what your gut has been too afraid to say. You do not have to raise prices dramatically on day 1. Start with a 15% increase on new clients only. Measure the response for 60 days. Let the data guide the next move. The AI does not have ego. It does not fear rejection. That is exactly why it is better at this than you are. Disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only. AI results vary. Always verify AI-generated content before relying on it.